I've been talking to someone that I'm super interested in recently, and it's been making me think. You might not think you learn a lot about relationships just by playing RuneScape, and I'd probably agree with you, but recently something happened that changed my mind about that. I've been going on a lot more dates recently, and it feels like people are placing a lot more emphasis on finding the perfect person rather than just falling in love with someone. And I think it's really important to have standards, but you shouldn't expect to instantly connect with someone on every single aspect of their life. A lot of these dates I've been on recently feel more of like a trauma dump session rather than me meeting a new person. There's been a few times where someone tells me about one of their deepest and worst experiences in their entire life before they even ask about my hobbies or what I do in my free time. And I've noticed that this is usually done to see what your reaction is to whatever they have experienced and to make sure that you can handle whatever burden or whatever trauma or whatever thing that they have for later. I feel like this is just a way that people, especially recently, have been forcing intimacy, and they talk about things that should be talked about like 6 months down the line when you have the full context of the person, and they'll paint this whole picture for you on the first or second date before you can even understand who they are. And so it just creates this bond with someone that you don't even know and someone that you don't fully appreciate. What's happened in my past relationships is, I'll meet someone and I'll be like, they have a job, they have hobbies, I'm attracted to them, they're looking for a long-term partner and I am too. I'll just forget that you have to like the person. So after 6 months, you're like, who am I with? They have the same goals in mind and they want the same things, but I don't like this person. And I don't think they like me. They like the idea that we're on the same page in terms of relationships, and they spec'd out, this is the best partner for me. They forget that you have to like that person and fall in love with them. The issue is we spec out the best partner for us and just forget to fall in love. And this is like my experience with RuneScape, especially coming back. I started having fun with the game and doing quests, and then I was like, what, I need to start leveling and start fishing and do all of these things so I can do later quests. But then I got so bogged up into maxing out how I'm gonna level my character. I was looking into fucking sand crab strats and leveling my melee and strength and trying to min-max the time it would take to level it up, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And it took the fun out of it, and it made me realize the joy isn't being level 99. It's getting there and having fun along the way. It's doing the quests and it's just playing the fucking game and being present in that moment. And that just made me realize it's just like relationships. The joy isn't just having the label and having someone and being connected with that specific person. It's about the act of doing it, the act of falling in love. Hitting 99 wouldn't mean anything if it didn't take the time that it took to get there. Being in a relationship with someone and having connection with them doesn't mean anything if you speed run to the end of it. The thing that's important and the thing that's beautiful about relationships is the day-to-day, the week-to-week, the month-to-month of falling in love with someone and being actively there with them. It will naturally just make you want to share things about yourself and your experiences with them rather than kind of feeling forced or pressure to just, tell them everything about you. They'll learn the context of who you are and want to learn more about you naturally. I think a lot of the conversation is around, especially online, of how to get someone, how to make someone want you and all that, but I feel like there's not a lot of discussion or emphasis on just the act of falling in love and, the beauty of just doing that. And I think that's just like RuneScape. You'll see a lot of videos on how to max your level and all of that. And for new players, you think, oh, this is what I should be doing. I should be going to sand crab and doing all these different strats and routes that it kind of just takes away from the fun part of just having fun with the game. Yeah, you can do all that stuff later, but when the emphasis is just on like how to maximize and best play the game, it distracts you from why the game is good and why you really just fell in love with it in the first time. I think new players should just, do the quests and fall in love with the game naturally and do the things that they want to do. I just started seeing it, especially as I was streaming this game, people tell me, oh, you have to do this is the most optimal way. You download these shaders, download all these plugins, it'll make it better. And it just made me realize it's like, I just want to play the game and fall in love with it and just, remember why I love this game. I understand that people have different views on the game. They've been playing it for years, tens of years. So it makes sense that, they're trying to find new fun ways. But I think it's doing a disservice to new players, putting this overbearing optimization on people. Just let them play the game and enjoy it and just be happy that they're enjoying the game you're enjoying. Later on, they'll try to figure out the best way to do things. But, just let them experience it for the first time. And, they'll just gravitate to wanting to optimize stuff and, do it the best way and do it the way that you probably do it. And that's just like relationships. Being in the moment, being present with that person is what makes you makes you the best partner. Rather than going through these arbitrary checklists of, we should be official by this time or exclusive or, put a label on it or this is what my friends say I should look for. Just fall in love with that person. And I'm saying this as someone who needs to hear this myself, and I wish I heard this earlier. Just be in the moment and feel how you feel and experience other people. And I think the rest usually just comes naturally. And this is just like playing and leveling in RuneScape. For the first playthrough, the act of doing is the fun part. You shouldn't worry about min-maxing or trying to do your best. Just have fun and play the game. Stop thinking about what could be and what's the best way to do it, and just do it. And I've been trying to actively approach my relationships this way. And for someone who's like a perfectionist like me, I think it's genuinely for the better. Trying to understand people as time goes on and for who they are genuinely, rather than oversharing or asking someone else to overshare, just vibing things out and, learning about that person naturally and letting things flow. The best relationships I've had, whether it's platonic or romantic, are just like grinding XP in RuneScape. For both, you consistently show up, you enjoy the grind, and you don't rush the end game. You have fun and enjoy it for what it is. Grind fish while you're talking to your friends on Discord or watch a movie or YouTube. Enjoy the process of just doing it, living your life while you're doing this thing, picking it up, setting it down, doing other things outside of it. Have fun for what it is. Let people reveal themselves in an organic way, and the relationship will just grow naturally. The connection feels so much better and more real when you've actually built that context and have fallen in love with that person. Anyway, that's just what's been on my mind lately, especially as I've been talking to this person that I'm really interested in. I wish I knew it earlier so I could have saved other relationships, but I would love to know if anyone relates to this or if this is just an experience that I've been having. And if there's any advice that you wish you knew earlier in life, please tell me. I would love to learn from other people's mistakes rather than making that mistake with the person I'm talking to right now. If you guys enjoyed it, please subscribe. I'll be making more stuff soon. But yeah.